Okay, Vicky, today's one is learning about shapes and colors and pictures. So I'm going to break it up into 10-minute segments each, and then we just go from there. So you already learned how to use artboards. So, so now we're going to do shapes. Okay, so you know that this is the shape tool, and if you left click and hold, you'll see all the different options: triangle, ellipse, ellipses, the circle, anything. So, right, so say we want to do a rectangle. If you just left click and drag on your mouse pad, it will come up with a rectangle like that there. So it's just hold your left click down after you've clicked, after you've clicked on this shape thing, hold your left mouse click down and just use your other finger on the mouse pad to drag. So you can drag it any way you want it, right? When you see that pink line go diagonally across, that means it's a perfect square. Okay, if you want to make a perfect square, you can hold your shift key down, hold your left key down, and then just drag across your mouse pad. Okay, so similar to how we copied artboards. Hold your shift key down, left mouse click, and just drag across, or drag across the other way, wherever. Okay, same if we change this one now and we go to ellipse tool, which is the circle. You can make ellipses. Once you see that pink cross, you know it's a perfect circle. But if you want to make a perfect circle anyway, again, you hold your shift key down first, left click, and then just drag across, and that's a perfect circle. Right. Now, I'm going to delete some of these guys. So I'll delete that one. I'll delete that one. Now remember, we're on selection tool, where you just click on the ones, delete, delete. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this, left click and drag will move it. Left click and drag will move it. So left click selects, hold it down. If you see that little box thingy underneath the arrow, that means you can now do what you want with it. If you don't see it, like there, it means nothing's going to happen if you try and drag. So you have to click, see that little funny box underneath, then you know you can move it. Okay. Now you see these funny little dots around here. If you click on one of them and drag, left click and drag, it changes the shape, right? Okay, so Control Z, I don't want that there. So what happens when you only want to change for one? You only want to change one corner and bring one corner through. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you now move to this direct selection tool. You're going to left hand click, hold it down, and again just drag. You're going to drag it to those two so that it selects these two things. So now when you left click and drag, it's only going to do the top, right? And now it's a semicircle. So I'm going to do that again. Control Z. I'm going to be on all four. Say I only want this corner to be done. So I'm going to, so you kind of figure out where it is in the corner. You select your direct selection tool. Again, left click, hold it down and drag. You know it's selected. Now you're just going to left click and drag again. And that changes that shape. Got it? I think you got it. So I'm going to go back to selection tool. I'm going to left click and drag. I didn't want a circle. Let's delete that. I wanted a square. Okay, left click and drag. So because I know what I'm doing, I don't have to hold shift because I know that as long as you have the pink thing, you know that's what's going on. Right. So your first thing you can do, I'm just creating shapes and whatever. You can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to delete all of that. That was just showing you what you can do with shapes. And again, you can play around with any of these guys. Polygon tool is like that there. And a star tool, it's all the same. Left click and drag, all the same. So now, for example, your star tool has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 little doofies, whatever that's called. And you want a triangle, but there's no triangle tool, right? You would use the star tool, but instead of clicking and dragging, you're just going to click first, and it's going to ask you how many points, and you say, I want 3 points. There's your triangle. Understand? So we're going to do the star again. So it's already on the star tool. That's how you get the triangle. But instead of holding your left click and dragging, you're just going to click your left hand mouse, and it's going to ask you how many points. So you can put this up to 7, and it will come with a 7-pointed star. Or you can click it again and say, no, you just want the 3, and you get the 3. If you click it again and you say you want 4, you're going to get something like that there. So you just play around with those things. Right, I'm going to get rid of all of these guys. So I'm just going to hold down my left click while doing your direct selection and just drag it across all those 4 points. And then once they're all selected, delete, and it will leave this circle. Right, so now the circle is very special. Remember yesterday how you could copy or duplicate? You can do the exact same thing. So if I want to have 2 circles the exact same size, I'm going to select it, hold down your Alt first, your Shift, hold down your Alt, your left click, then your Shift, and then just drag across like that. And then let go your left click, then everything else. You remember that from yesterday, right? Great. So I'm going to select it again. I'm going to hold down my Alt, left click and Shift key, and I'm just going to drag along to the bottom. Okay? Oh, I never clicked properly. My bad, my bad, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. I'm doing that again. Right? If you select both of these now, you hold down your Alt, your left click, and then your Shift, and you drag it, and then you release your left click, and everything else. It now makes 4. Make sense? Right. Then, if you can see up here, it's got your stroke lines or whatever, and it's got a white background, which means if I put something behind there, you won't see it because it's covered by white. So you want the full to be empty, or you can just do all of them, select all of them, and say you don't want a background, but you do want a border, but you want the border to be 4, then it will look like that. Or if you don't want a full and you don't want a border, you can put it back to 0, which means you can't see it, but as soon as you click over there, you'll see them. So now we do want to fill it, so I'm going to click like that there, choose a full color, red, and then red. If I just select on this one and decide to change that one to green, I can. This one to yellow, I can. Right, that's lesson 1 of 3. So there's nothing to learn yet. That is going to come in lesson 3. So I'm stopping here and then starting another video.